Hey my lovely YouTubers, it's me, Morgan Tracy J, coming today with the morning fix. Well guys, I got up and today was a hard day. Today was one of those push yourself type of days. But I want to talk to you today about how God's got your back. I know this can be really confusing for a lot of us, especially if you're in one of those seasons where you feel like God is distant, where you feel like you're alone, where you feel like you're in despair. When you just feel so much depression, then it's hard to acknowledge that God has got your back. But it tells us in the Word that God is near to those of a broken heart, and He's close to those of a contrite spirit. What I want to tell you is a lot of times in the seasons when we're struggling the most is we're usually brokenhearted. We maybe encountered a failure. We maybe lost a relationship. Maybe God took things from us that we actually really desired. Okay? So I want to tell you that in those seasons we have to acknowledge that He's actually closest to us when He feels so far away. I want to tell you that I've been in those seasons where depression was literally every day at my doorstep. Literally like fear and doubt and God, where are you? God, are you real? God, are we in this together or am I by myself? Like I had so many unanswered prayers that my faith began to shake. And if you're in those seasons, then I want you to understand that God still has your back. You know, I want to tell you, it happened in one night. I went through 6 months of a valley where I did not even know where God was, okay? And then one night, I woke up and God gave me a complete word. Like a word that put such a fire in me that allowed me to know that my season was coming to an end, that allowed me to know that I could make it through. I just needed to withstand the testing of my faith. And I want to tell you today that in just a moment's time, God can bring you a word to. He can uplift you and empower you to. He can tell you exactly how your season is going to go and what to look forward to. I want to tell you, don't grow weary in well-doing. When you truly step out and serve God and you're trusting God, trust me, He will reward you openly. I know there were times when I would finally obey God, and when I first decided to obey God, everything in my life would go crazy. People that I once loved would go back on me. Things that I once desired so much failed me. But in the process, God was working on me. I want to tell you, the teacher is still there. He's just a little silent, but He's still there watching you, preparing you, giving you that provision, helping you, empowering you. Okay, I want to tell you that today. God still got your back. Don't ever think for one moment that He doesn't. And I can tell myself this because guess what? There were plenty of seasons where I felt like, God, where are you? God, when are you going to come to help me? God, when is my blessing season? When do I get to get lifted up? God, come on now. Like, when do I get to come on? Like, get to my mountain while I'm still in the valley. You know what I mean? So when you start to go through seasons like this is when you got to press in and you got to remember the word. It tells us in Exodus that the Lord said He will fight for you. I want to tell you today that the struggles that you're fighting, get out of the ring. Stop fighting those. I remember one time I was fighting some really darkness, and I remember I kept trying to fight it with prayer and kept fighting it with certain words and spiritual warfare. And guess what happened? Finally, God told me to get out of there. This was never your fight in the first place. I will fight for you. That depression, God says He will fight for you. That fear, God says He will fight for you. That nervousness, that anxiety, God said He will fight for you, and He's got your back. I want to tell you today, you don't have to sit down and get like, well, this is just how life is going to be. No, it happened in one night. After 6 months of going through a valley, one night God brought me a word in the middle of the night, a word that was filled with so much fire and so much provision that I couldn't even go back to sleep, that I had to go ahead and get my day started at 3 something in the morning. That's how powerful that word was. And I want to tell you, God can bring you a word too, and He will fight for you if you can withstand the testing of your faith, if you can just kneel into Him, if you can believe on Him, if you can start to just say, God, you know what? I know You called me to this. I know You called me to obedience. I'm going to obey You in this time. I'm going to trust You. I'm going to love You. He will fight for you, and He's got your back every step of the way. God has got your back. You need to believe that. You need to receive that. And every day that you walk, in every struggle, in every depressing thought, in every anxiety, in every nervousness, you need to come back and say, God has got my back. God's got my back. He says that he will fight for me. And right now, although I don't know it, he's fighting for me. And though I don't even realize, he's preparing things for me. Just like Adam went to sleep and Eve was prepared for him. Even when you sleep, God is preparing things for you today. I want to tell you that. Believe in it. Lean into it and trust God, guys. Trust that he's got your back, that he's fighting for you, and he's preparing things for you today. Even as you sleep, even as you struggle, even as you're financially stuck, he's already preparing things for you. Believe that word, guys. Lean into it. If you receive that, put in the comments below, I receive it. My voice started to go out. Oh my gosh. But I love you so much, guys. I will see you next week on The Morning Fix. Bye.